Okay, so welcome everyone to this session on advanced system security and digital forensics. Now, in the previous lecture, if you remember, we just started by we have seen various malicious code, and then we have seen a Trojan horse, how Trojan horse plays a role. Then we have went it to understand the worms. We have seen viruses. Then we have seen a differentiation between a virus and worms. And then, if you remember, we again did started with understanding of a salami attack. So this is what we have seen yesterday. And in today's lecture, we are going to go one level ahead, where we are going to actually see what is a linearization attack and how linearization works. So let me just start my slide that we can start with it. Let me just share it. Meanwhile, all are requested to update the details in the chat box, your UI number, your name, and the roll number. Yeah. So let us start with a linearization attack. Uh, if you have seen here, uh, now what do you think? What can be a linearization attack? So I have given you a time yesterday by asking you about that we are going to start with the linearization attack. If you can just understand and just can find out with the same. So anyone who could have understood or you might have seen what is a linearization attack? Anyone who have taken efforts to see what is a linearization attack? Okay, no issues, no problem. So I'll tell you what is a linearization attack. So now this linearization attack, it's a technique. I'll just tell you, linearization is a technique of retrieving the secret message without having the key. Now, without knowing the key, you can still retrieve the secret message. Okay. Now, for example, if you want to know, if you want to retrieve a secret message, maybe for example, if you want to know what is the serial number, right? You do not know what is the serial number and you want to retrieve a serial number without, still you can reveal without actually knowing what the serial number is. So now if you can see what is actually happening is, it is a technique. Now what happens here is, the program here checks one character at a time and exits as soon as the incorrect character is found. Is it okay? Now what it does, it checks each and every character, right? It checks each and every character by character. If the first character is correct, it is going to proceed to the next character, right? That has been shown here, right? Now if all of them, all the 8 characters are correct, we say that serial number is correct. So what it is doing is, he is actually checking each and every character, right? So the program checks one character at a time, and what if my character is not correct, it breaks the loop. It means it exits as soon as an incorrect character is found. So now you will say, sir, what are we actually trying to understand out of this? Now here, what is the information revealed? Now I have given you a hint. Can anyone of you can just find out what are we doing by knowing this? So again, I'll just repeat. What we are doing is, we are checking one character at a time. We are checking each and every character at a time, and as soon as an incorrect character is found, right? So it is going to check. It's going to check whether my first character is A. If it is not A, it is going to break. It is going to check B. If it's not, it is going to break. So when it will get a correct character, then it's going to check for the next character. So what is going to be happen because of this? Any idea? Can you make out of this? Okay, I think you would not guess. Okay, I'll tell you. Now, what happens is, the programmer checks one character at a time. So if it's a wrong character, it is going to exit immediately. If a wrong character is found out, it is going to exit immediately. But then if it's a correct if it's a correct character is found, what it is going to do? After guessing the correct first character, the attacker will continue to guess the second character. So obviously the time that would be taken would be more. So if the password, if the first character is correct, it is going to take more time as compared to not finding a character, right? So the correct password will take a longer time to process as compared to incorrect password, because if my first character is incorrect, it is going to break, it is going to come out, and it is going to exit. But then if the character is correct, it is going to take time. So by noting the time between the time at which I'm character wise how much time it takes, it reveals information, right? So what is happening is the program here is checking one character at a time and exits as soon as an incorrect character is found. So the correct password obviously will going to take a longer time to process as compared to an incorrect password. So here if the character S is found, obviously character S is going to take longer amount of time because S is a correct character. So if it is a correct character, it is going to start, attacker will start continue guessing the second character. So obviously initially it will not come out of loop because the first character of S is correct, and that is the reason the attacker can retrieve one character at a time. Now once the attacker comes to the S is my first character, he is going to try with the second character. Now if he is going to try with 1, obviously 1 is the correct, so then it is going to try with the third character. Now if it's going to type for example 2, S ke baad if it's going to try whether the key is 2, now 2 is not the correct, it's going to come out. So obviously if one is the character that is been trying for, it is going to take more time because it is a correct character, then it is going to part with the third characters. So it is how the linearization attack will going to check one character at a time, and then depending on if the character is correct, it is going to go to the next character, and obviously the time that would be taking as compared to an incorrect character would be high, and that is how the attacker can reveal. So in some point of time, the attacker will be able to guess the all of the 9 characters. 1 2 3 sorry. So it is going to check all the 8 characters very efficiently, right? So this is how the linearization attack works. So let us see what it says. Yeah. So linearization attack is a technique of retrieving the secret message without having the key. So for the linearization attack, you do not have to have any key. You can, even without having the key, you can retrieve the secret message. Here we were trying to retrieve the serial key, and the serial key was revealed without actually knowing the correct characters, right? So what happens here is the program checks one character at a time and exits as soon as an incorrect character is found. So the correct password here takes longer time to process as compared to an incorrect password. So after guessing correct first character, attacker will continue to guess the second character, and it finds that S1 is taking the longer time. So S1, if it's taking a longer time, it means that S1 is my correct character, and then it is going to try finding out the third character. So then after S1 is found, it is going to try with S11. Now S11 is not correct, so it is going to exit from the loop, and then it is going to try with S12. Now S12 is the correct character, so now it is going to take more time to find out the fourth character. And if it is taking a more time to process, it means it is guessing a correct password. So hence the attacker can retrieve one character at a time. So this is how smartly, by just noting down the time, you can actually reveal the information, and that is called as a linearization attack. Clear everyone? So this is what is a linearization attack. If you are done, we can start with a next topic, which is very interesting, called as a covert channel. Clear everyone? Shall we proceed to the next topic? Okay, thank you, Hina. Okay, so now since we have understood how linearization attack, by looking at it, anyone would not come to know that taking a time for finding out is actually revealing the information. That is how the next topic is all about. Next topic is on a covert channel. Covert channel means the channel through which you are actually leaking the information. So let me just show you this thing. So you can see this an image that I have taken from the reference book, that is a Flieger. Now I hope that you know for the subject most of the concepts you will find it in a book of Flieger. So it is a security in computing book by a Flieger. From that it's a figure 4.5 in the Flieger book, and from the where I have taken this covert channel. So if you want to refer from the reference book, you will find the same image there, right? Now, what is a covert channel? Now you can see this is my protected data. This is my protected data. It is my secret data. And this is my service program. This is the program that has been written. Now what I want is there is a legitimate user. Now what should be the ideal channel? Ideal channel should be that legitimate user, whatever he wants to access to a protected data, he needs to access it. So a service program is written. In that service program, whatever the legitimate user wants to access an information from a protected data, he can do that very easily. And this is how it should be. If I am authorized to one of the data, then obviously I should be able to access the data as well. So there is a legitimate user who is an intended user. You have a service program and is accessing the protected data. So do you think this is the covert channel? Can you tell me then where the covert channel lies? Now I'll tell you before that what is a covert channel first. So in a simple terms, a covert channel is nothing but any method, or you can say any method that is used for communicating, that is illegally used to transfer the information, thus breaking the security policy of a system. I'll repeat again. A covert channel is any method of communication that we use it to transfer the information illegally, thus breaking the security policy of the system. So can you tell me by looking at this, then where is this covert channel? As I said, everything is correct. What is the problem? You have a legitimate user, you have a program written, and you have a protected data. Everything is working fine. But then where is the covert channel then? I hope my question is clear to everyone. My question was, what is the covert channel? What is covert channel first? It's a method which is used for communication that is used for illegally transferring the information by breaking the security policy of the system. Now, anyone who could understood what I'm trying to ask you a question on? I'm asking, where does the covert channel lie then? You have a legitimate user, you have a service program, you have a protected data. Now, the covert channel lies here. The communication that is happening from a protected data via service program to a spy. Now, why this program should have been accessed to a spy? Spy is not authorized to access the protected data, but somehow, if you type something or if you have written a program, or for example, if you have planted a Trojan horse inside your service program, and then since you have planted a Trojan in the service program, and then how you're revealing the information, whatever it's going from a legitimate user to a protected data to a spy, we call it as a covert channel. So this channel, that is the channel that is used between the protected data to a spy, we called it as a covert channel. Understood? So any communication that is happening between the protected data through a spy is through a covert channel. It means this channel should not have been existing, but then if a service program, if something is written or some Trojan has been planted with, and that itself is revealing the information to a spy, we call it as a covert channel. Ideally speaking, the information should have gone from a legitimate user to a protected data and from a protected data back to legitimate user. So now, to make it more clear, I think each one of us do make a use of a covert channel some or other way, right? I'll give a very simple example, which I hope all of you will relate with. Uh, I do not see an interaction today from my student today. Is everything all right? Is my voice audible to everyone? Okay, fine, Hina. But I don't think so. Okay, yeah. So I was asking you a question that I am going to give you a very easy example about a covert channel that is related to a daily life and that we actually make use of, and you might also experience that we even if we do not know the name of it, but still we are using a covert channel. I'll give you an example. Now suppose you have an exam, and in the exam an MCQ is asked. Now I hope you are very familiar with the MCQs now, right? So now, suppose there are a group of your friends, or you are a group of your friends in a class, or there are a group of students, and they're preparing for an exam. And you know, every MCQ has four options: uh, choice A, choice B, choice C, and choice D. Out of which you always have one correct answer and three answers are incorrect. Now, still, even if you even if you are in your exam, you still reveal the information. Now I hope you can correlate with. Now, for example, we normally tell to our friends that if I cough once, so if I twice thrice, I mean answer is C. If I'm doing the answer to the question is A. If I'm coughing twice, it means the answer is B. So just think, by way of covert channel, we have actually leaked the information. Now, even the examiner, or even if any person is there in the Hina is writing yes. So I think Hina, you might have done that and do not know. But then uh, yes. So we normally do that, right? And even the who is there in the examiner, or whoever is there in the class, will never ever come to know. He might be thinking, okay, you might not be well, and that is the user coughing, but nobody will ever come to know that you are actually leaking the information. And this leaking of information is a covert channel. It means you are not you are actually leaking the information, but using a method which is not legal, right? So this is what the covert channel is. So I know, so this is how a covert channel is. So now next time if you're going to use a covert channel in the exam, I would be there and I would be knowing it. So don't do that. Jokes apart, but then yes, this is how the covert channel is. So covert channel means you are actually revealing the information. So the methods can be different. You might use one method, you might use a different method, but then somehow if you try to leak information, that is called as a covert channel, right? So as you can see in the figure shows a service program, and in a service program you have a Trojan horse. Now that Trojan horse is trying to copy the information that is going from a legitimate user. It means who is allowed to have an access to the information, to a spy. Spy is nothing but who is not allowed to access the information. The user may not know that the Trojan horse is running, and may even not know that he is actually leaking the information to a spy. And that is what we call as a covert channel. So I hope you have understood about what is a covert channel. Now, what are the different methods of doing a covert channel? We are going to see it in the next slide. But then a definition of a covert channel is concerned. I hope you have understood. And I think you will always remember, even if in the exam, I'm 100% sure you will be able to write the answer on a covert channel, right? So it is very important topic, and it is normally asked in the exam. Now, what is a covert channel? You are expected to draw the diagram, and then you need to explain the way how a covert channel leaks the information. Now, let us go to the next slide, and let us try to understand now how this, by looking at the figure, how locking a file reveals the information. Now just look at the figure, and just if any one of you can try it and tell me how this is actually leaking the information. If you can see, there is again a protected data, there is again a service program, and there is a file. It can be any file. Now how, by locking a file or unlocking a file, reveal the information? If you can just look at the figure which is shown to you, and just try to identify how my information is getting leaked. I'll just give you 1 minute to visualize it, and then if you can just answer it, it's very good. Or else I'll be explaining it to you how the information is revealed in the case of file lock covert channel. Anyone have understood what it is trying to reveal and how the covert channel is taking place? Okay, I think you could not make it out. No problem. Uh, okay, so let me just start by explaining it to you how the information is revealed by just locking a file. Now, whenever a covert channel can be normally be performed in two ways: by locking a file. So, okay, so just a minute. Okay, let me do a full screen for you. Uh, Okay, so we were speaking on the file lock channel. Now, what is happening here is, if you can see, in case of a file lock channel, as I was saying, it is a simple example of a covert channel. So, what is happening here is, uh, probably when we are speaking about a covert channel, there are two things to be taken care of. First thing is that there are two ways of revealing the information via covert channel. That is through a storage channel, or that is through a locking a channel. So what actually happens here is, if you can see, we are doing a covert, or we are revealing the information with the help of a locking a file or unlocking a file. Now the question comes, how by locking a file or by unlocking a file an information can be revealed, right? So that can be a question with everyone, that how just by locking or unlocking a file the information can be revealed. So now if you can see here, uh, what actually happens is, this is a clear example of a file lock channel. What happens is, in multi-user system, the file can be locked. So what happens is, in multi-user system, when you have more than one users, so as we all know that nowadays multi-user operating system, that is possible for every one of us. So now in multi-user system, file can be locked to prevent two people from writing to the same file at the same time, right? We normally do a locking of a file. So for example, if one of the person is doing an editing, so what we do, we lock the file, so that we want to prevent two file from writing to the same file at the same time, right? What will happen if both the users, or if there are both the users or multi users are given a chance to edit, then it might corrupt the file, because it might be possible that if one person writes over some of what the other has wrote, then it will corrupt the file. So to overcome that, we always do one thing: when any of the user is doing an updation, a file is locked, just to prevent that the second user should not be allowed. Now when one user has done with the updation, then the lock is given to the second users. And I hope you might have studied the same concept in the operating system as well, right? So now what here does is, the operating system or the database system, because of this, allows only one program to write to a file at a time, by blocking the file, by delaying, or by rejecting any write request that comes from other program, right? So what the OS does, it directly blocks the request or delays the request or rejects the request, just by ensuring that no two users should be able to write or do any work in a single file, just to corrupt the file. Now, this itself is revealing the information. Now, how it is revealing an information, let us find out. Now, this, by just locking and unlocking a file, can signal one bit of information. For example, if I have written a service program, and in that, if I'm just want that service program should reveal either 1 or 0, right? If I want my service program should reveal 1 or it is 0, then I can write it in the case of a service program. So what it will do is, a covert channel will leak the information by doing a locking on a file. So what it will do is, a covert channel can signal one bit of information by whether or not a file is locked. So what happens is, a service program contains a Trojan horse, as we all know, and that Trojan horse is written by a spy, as we already know. But now it is run by an unsuspecting user. So now a user does not know that he is actually having a Trojan horse installed in his machine, and since he is not knowing it, obviously that Trojan horse will reveal the information to the victim. Now what happens is, as shown in the figure, the service program reads the confidential data. Now once the service program is reading any confidential data, or I can say the protected data, to which the spy should not have an access to, what it will do, the service program will reveal the information to the spy program, right? So now the service program will look at the information from the protected data, and it will reveal the information to the sub spy program. So now what will happen is, it will do here is, service program will read the confidential data and will signal the data one bit at a time by locking or not locking the file. So what it will do, in this way they are going to share the information. Now if you can see, if the service program wants to reveal 1 as an information, what it will do, a service program will lock the file, as if he wants to do some changes, or if you want to do something with the file, so he's going to use the file, so he's going to lock the file. Now service program has locked the file. Service program, if the service program is locking a file, it means spy program, if he wants to do any changes with that file, he cannot do, right? So now a spy program will try to lock the file. If this spy program is able to lock the file, he will assume that the service program is trying to disclose the information 0. But then if the spy program is about to lock a file, but if his file is not getting locked, it means a spy program cannot able to lock a file. He will assume that my service program is trying to reveal the information 1, and it concludes that service program is signaling a 1. That is how it comes to know. But then if the spy program tries to lock a file, and if the service program is trying to signal 0, what will happen is, spy program will be able to lock a file, and it will assume that the service program is revealing 0. So what are we doing? We are actually revealing one bit of information by locking a file or unlocking a file. So if my spy program, I have written a program into my service program, and in that I have written a code, if I written a Trojan saying that if the service program wants to, after looking at the protected data, if he wants to reveal one bit of information as 1 or 0, he can either lock a file, he can either unlock a file. If a service program is locking a file, spy program will also try to lock a file. If the file is getting locked, then I'll assume that service program is not locking a file and it is signaling a 0. But then if I am trying to lock a file, and if a file is not getting locked, it means service program has locked the file and he is conveying the information 1. So this is how, by just locking a file or by just unlocking a file, you can actually reveal the information. Any doubt in this? I think at some point of time, you find it very difficult how actually it is locking and unlocking a file. If you still have a doubt, you can let me know. I'll just explain again to make it very easy understanding for all of you. Should you want me to repeat, or is it okay? You have understood. I don't mind repeating again. So if you should not understood, I'll explain again. Okay, Hina understood. But what about others? I don't know why others are not replying. I hope others are listening to lecture actually. They are there. What about others? Okay, very good. Okay, fine. So now this you can just see how the covert channel is revealing the information. Now nobody have ever thought or nobody would have thought that just by locking a file or by not locking a file will actually reveal an information. So this is called as a one bit of sharing of an information. You can actually make a service program to reveal the information in the form of zeros and ones. Right? I will give an example. So let's take an example that there is a big tender or a big order that is going to go from say from one business person to another. Right? There is the biggest order that has come, and from say from company ABC. Now company ABC has got a very huge order, and you want to know whether that order is which is being given to the company ABC, is it going to deliver it the order today or tomorrow, right? So now if you want to reveal the information, what you can do is you can just with the help of one bit of information you can share information. For example, whenever you print a bill, at the end we have a total price or the final price. Now if the total amount is 636, if I write total rupees 636, it means order is going to be sent today. And if I'm writing totals 636, it means the order is going to be supplied tomorrow. So just think, just by writing total TOTAL and bus writing TOTALS, I'm actually revealing one bit of information. It means क्या आज ऑर्डर जाने वाला है बाहर, या आज ऑर्डर कंपनी से बाहर निकलेगा, या कल निकलने वाला है. If I want to have that information, if there are someone who is there in the company, who is some person who is there in the company, and I want him to have the information revealed to me somehow outside, even if there is a very confidential or a secret information. If I just wanted to know if the delivery is going to happen today about the order that is received by a company ABC or tomorrow, so I can do this. I can just type in the total price 636 rupees, or I can write total price 636. Obviously, nobody will come to know that it is a total, and total is actually revealing information. A person would feel that okay, kuch galti hui hogi in a printing. Instead of total, somebody has written totals, and that actually reveals information. So you can see how you can actually reveal the information very easily by just replacing a character. So this is one more example how you can reveal an information, right? So there are various ways in which you can reveal information. So this was again one more example that came to my mind, right? So this is how it is going to be. So any doubts so far? Okay, thank you so much. So now we have done with this. Then we are going to see the next and the second way of revealing the information. That is again on a storage channel. That is how by using this you can actually reveal the information. So here it is actually revealing more than one information. So in the earlier case, if you have seen, it was revealing the information, but now it is actually a service program is revealing the information. Just look at the figure and try to understand. Then I will explain you about it. Now in this example, what is happening is here it is using a storage to reveal the information. Now what here it does is the service program, if the service program wants to reveal the information one to the spy, what the service program is doing here is he is creating a file which is very large in size. Now I'm really sorry. This was not the covert channel, but then this was actually what I got it. Yeah. So the service program here signals a 1. So what it does is this service program creates a file by creating a very large file. So that by creating a very large file, it is actually occupying most of the available disk space. And now, since it is occupying most of the available disk space, the spy program will also try to create such a large file. Now, if this spy program is not able to create such a larger file, it means that the service program has created a larger file and it is revealing 1 to the spy program. But then if the service program wants to reveal the information, it wants to reveal 0 to a spy program, what the service program does is service program deletes that very huge file. Now when the service program deletes that very huge file, spy program here will try to create a very large file. Now if the spy program is able to create a very large file, it means service program has not created a large file and it is signaling me 0. So if you can see in the interval 1, let me just laser pointer. So in the interval 1, service program wanted to reveal 1, so it has created a very larger file, and then spy program also tried to create a larger file, but since a larger file was already there, service spy program could not create a larger file, and spy program concluded that service program is trying to reveal the information 1. Similarly, here spy program now wants to reveal in the interval 2, spy service program is trying to reveal the information 0. So what it does, it is deleting an information. Now after deleting an information, spy program is trying to create an file. This time file is creating. It means service program has not created a file. It means it is revealing the 0. And in the third interval, again the spy program wants to signal 0. So what it does is he is not creating any file. It means he is creating as is remaining as it is. He is not creating any file. Now spy program is again trying to create a file. Now this time again the spy program is able to create a file. It means the spy program is assuming that service program is revealing me with the information 0, 0, 0. So it means together, if you come to know, you will come to know that together it is trying to reveal the information 1, 0 and 0. So just by creating a file and deleting a file, you are actually revealing the information. So but just by creating a file and deleting a file, the information is leaked, and nobody ever will come to know that just by creating a file or deleting a file will actually reveal the information, and this is how the information is leaked. Okay, so I hope you have understood. So here we end it here today. Probably next time when we'll meet up, we'll go to see a covert timing covert channel. Now we have seen 2 types of covert channel. In the first, we have seen how by locking a file or by unlocking a file, you can reveal the information. And in the second figure, we have seen how by creating a file and by deleting a file reveals the information. Okay, I hope you have understood. Everyone are requested to kindly update the details in the chat box. Please do that. And then again, we are going to meet next week where we would be seeing some more interesting concepts on advanced security. I hope you had a wonderful session. I hope you have enjoyed the today's session, and probably we are going to meet up again with such more interesting concepts of covert channel. And then we are going to proceed further by understanding what are the different ways in which a covert channel can be used.